All right. So it is 10:30. I guess people will still be joining us, but I would like us to start. So I will give the floor to my colleague George Bernados. Just allow him to. Speak. There you go, George. You should be
Can you hear me?
now.
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess you can see me and hear me, right, Laura?
Yes, I can see you and hear you. I hope that the others also can.
Okay. So let's start. And on behalf of the Publications Office, I would like to welcome you all to this TED 2, or the new TED as we call workshop, that is dedicated to the data reuse of TED. My name is George Bernardos, and I'm the Deputy Head of Unit of the TED and EU Procurement Unit at the Publications Office. Manuela Cruz, that used to be the one opening this session so far, was not able to attend this morning, but most probably will join us during the afternoon session. And as usual, and before moving on with the first presentation, I would like to make some clarification points as regards the reason, the scope, and organization of this workshop, okay? Which in many cases, more or less, you know it, at least the ones that have participated in the previous ones, okay? But for the sake of completeness and for equal treatment for all, I will repeat some things. So this workshop is about the reuse of data in the new TED. It is part of the series of workshops we have done 2 already, sorry, with an objective to increase the awareness of the TED data reusers on the significant changes taking place mainly since November 2022, which are, in a nutshell, the introduction of the eForms standard and the coming new TED, TED 2, that will replace completely the current legacy TED website. For this, we have done, as I said, 2 workshops already, one in September 2022, and another one last June. For those that may have not participated in the previous workshops, I will give some brief and high-level information. That information that is published on TED is according to standard procurement forms, what we also call TED schema. But in 2019, the Commission adopted a new regulation on standard procurement forms, which is called eForms. That's how we call them. And this regulation actually applies almost a year now, because it applies since November, 14th of November 2022. So, legally speaking, since that date, the public procurement notices published on TED can be either TED schema notices, like in the past, or eForms. As we speak today, and more or less since last September, we keep on having more and more eForms notices. So I could say on average something like 200 notices per day that are eForms notices. As contracting authorities and member states, in some cases as a whole, start to shift to eForms. So I have a couple of numbers just for your information. So since May 2023, and I say May because in May it was the first member state that completely switched to eForms, which was Estonia. We have published on TED, so you can find them on TED, around 7,000 eForms notices. Okay, the majority of them coming from Estonia, then it's Belgium, Switzerland, Finland, Netherlands. These are the ones that have some hundreds. Okay, and then we have member states with less than 100, like Malta, Austria, Italy, Germany, Spain, Poland, Croatia. I mean, more or less all of them have sent some notices in eForms. On top of this, and take into account that the existing TED website is seriously outdated and old, particularly technologically, we embarked more than a year ago in a project to develop a totally new one. In principle, in terms of functionalities, the new one is not different than the old one. Okay, we still have to publish the supplement to the official journal on a daily basis, but still there are changes, enhancements, apart from the fact that we have a totally new technological and architectural stack. It's clear that all this may or will have impact on the TED data reuse. To facilitate to you guys, to facilitate your work and make your task easier, we started to share, always under reasonable terms, as much information as we can or have. And in parallel, we started to organize these workshops to have a more direct communication or touch in quotes with as many as possible from you. As I said already, the target audience of this workshop and the previous two ones is the reusers of TED data. That is, those users that take data from TED, process it, enhance it, manipulate it, do whatever they want in order to provide services to their clients or to themselves, be it for free or as a paid service. So it's not, let's say, the normal user or of the user interface of TED that accesses the site to get some information or to see what is published, what is not published, etc. Okay. As you know already, there is no need for a reuser in quotes registration or identification, which means that we do not know you. Okay, TED is open and it has data that are publicly available and accessible, free of charge. So literally anyone can use them without requiring our permission or us knowing it. And this explains why I said we don't know you. Still, we make an effort to get closer to you, which is increasing over the last year or so, and we collect valuable information about you and around you from these workshops. Our goal is to continue in the future and establish a regular contact or channel with you, or at least with the ones that are willing to do so. We believe that in the long run, this can be a win-win situation for both of us. So I will not go into details or go through what has been discussed, presented in the previous two workshops, okay? Anyone interested can access the presentations, the answers to the questions, the videos of each one of them. And for those that may find it difficult to access this or to find this information, please send a question or a request to our help desk and they will guide you, okay? If I wanted to highlight and to bring on the table some evolutions worth mentioning since last June's workshop, okay, I could say the following. As I said, more and more eForms notices are published on TED, particularly starting from this September. We will have the new website, which it's expected to go live as we speak today is January 2023. Last June we said it was October 23, but things in IT or in software development do not always go as wished. So the current date is at some point in January 23, and this will be confirmed. Okay, still has to be confirmed. Following the requests and the questions that were raised during the last June's mainly workshop, we made available since more or less 10 days now a TED data reusers environment, which we call Gamma. And as far as I know, this has been communicated to you or to the ones that were able to know how to communicate information to them already. As we speak today, the TED2, so the new TED implementation is, as we call, a phase called parallel run. That is the same data published on the production website, TED website, the real TED, okay? The same back office operation, everything around Vue.js publication are also done in this parallel run environment. So in terms of public procurement data, both environments are aligned. And so the parallel environment is for us to keep on checking that everything can be fine when we go live. But the same situation in terms of data and what I said of the parallel run happens also in the Gamma environment that we made available for you guys. This means that you, as the users in this Gamma environment, can use, reuse, actually play with the same public procurement data as the ones published in the real TED, but using the functionalities, the features of this TED 2. So the new TED. This way, you can prepare yourself and adapt, test, etc., your services in what will be the situation when the TED 2, the new TED, goes live and replaces fully the current TED website. The TED 2 is not yet ready to go live, as I said already. So this means that you may see things that are not 100% ready in this Gamma environment. For example, translations missing. So you may see instead of French, in some cases, English terms. Editorial page is not complete or outdated. The editorial content is not yet fully there. Moreover, there can be small bugs that are anyhow we still find and fix. Small changes, adaptations that happen. So feedback on such things from you is more than welcome and can be done through the help desk. But this part is not in the scope of the current or similar workshops, okay? So here we're talking about just data reuse and not if a label is missing or a translation is missing or something is not correctly labeled in Greek or in Portuguese or whatever, okay? In any case, to our best knowledge, we believe that everything that you may need to have as a reuser to learn in quotes the new TED, make your changes, test, etc., is there and it's working. Okay. Last but not least, one of the goals of making available this Gamma environment, so that the user's environment, test the users and the user's test environment, sorry, is to get your feedback or remarks that under reasonable terms will be analyzed and see if and how can be addressed and when, of course. So today we will have actually, I assume we have seen also in the agenda, we will have only one presentation titled the TED New Portal Spotlight on Reuse that will be performed by my colleague Carmelo Greco, which is the one that participated in the previous workshops, you know him already. And then it's mainly questions and answers, okay? And particularly in the afternoon, we would like to learn more about you and your so far experience on this Gamma environment as regards the reuse or what you are trying to do as reuse, and you may find difficult or it may not be working, or you may need to clarify. So organization-wise, the workshop, as all the previous ones, is fully online. So this means that any hiccups or issues with sound, connection, etc., may happen, but apologies in advance for this. We have a support team with Laura and Panos that can help with any organizational issues. The usual housekeeping rules, so please keep your microphones muted to avoid us muting you, and don't have your camera, turn your cameras off. Any questions, be it after the presentation that will be done by my colleague or for the afternoon session, should be done and should be provided through the WebEx chat. Okay? We will reply to them under reasonable terms if during today's session, or if not, they will be replied afterwards when we publish the answers to all the questions. Okay? And anyhow, any questions that you may not be able to, because it comes afterwards, you may not be able to provide today, you can always send it to the TED help desk. Okay. So as we saw in the agenda, we have a morning and an afternoon session. In between, it's a 2-hour lunch break. Okay, everything is Central European time. And last but not least, the presentation, the answer to the questions, the video will be published on the meetings website, and this is something we'll try to do as soon as possible. Okay, so this is the main introduction from my side. I think now it's time for the actual thing. So I think Laura needs to pass the floor to Carmelo.
Thank you very much, George. I just want to say that I am taking a look at what is happening in the chat, and I'm taking note. And I think that most of the questions that I've seen so far, Carmelo will be able to answer during his presentation, but we will look at them after the presentation one by one, just to make sure that we've answered them all. And with this, I will give the floor to Carmelo. Let me just, there you go. Carmelo, do you have, I think we can hear you. Let's see.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, do you hear me? Yep.
Yes.
So, my name is Carmelo Greco, and I am in charge of the project TED 2.0, which is the new TED website. So today I will provide you a presentation and also a demo about the way how to reuse extract data from the new TED website. So I will share my presentation. Do you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So in the agenda, I will talk about 3 topics. Download XML notice in bulk from the TED portal. Download notice in any format using direct link. And also the topic concerning the search API and a demo for each of these 3 topics. So first topic is download XML notice in bulk. So as you know, the user can download XML notice in bulk from TED portal. There are 2 types of package, the daily package and the monthly package. A daily package is a file containing all the notice in XML format for each day, each OGS issue. And the monthly package is the file containing all the notice in XML format for each month. So each OGS for the month. So just to remind you again, the FTP server is not available in the new TED portal, but the HTTP, you can download the package using the HTTPS. So the user can download the package using the user interface or using a direct link. And there is no need to sign in to download the daily or monthly packages. So to download the package via the user interface is by going to the home page, expanding open data, and click on the link XML bug download. And there you will have a page, which is XML bug download, and you can choose via a tab, daily package or monthly package. For the daily package, you can select the year and the month, and you can see the list of all OGS of the specific months. And for the monthly package, you select the year and you will be able to select the monthly package of that specific year. I will do the demo just after. There is also the possibility to download the package using the direct link, where you can see here the format. So HTTPS, the URL of TED, then packages, then notice, daily or monthly, and you have also a specific format if you want to have a daily package or a monthly package. So the format for the daily package is year and the OGS number. For example, if you want to download the daily package of the OGS1 in 2023, the URL will be as is displayed here. For the monthly package, we have that specific format, and you can see at the, you can see the monthly to select the monthly package, and here this is the format to select the month. So the month is the year with the number of the months. So if you want to download the package of January 2023, it will be like that. So when you download the package, the format is the same as we have today. So you have, for the daily package, that format where you can see the OGS publication date, and then just after the underscore, you have the OGS number. So for example, the OGS 1 from 2023 will be like that. For the monthly package, as I said, it is the same as we have today. So we have the year and the months. An example here, we have, if we want to download the package of January 2023, it will be like that. Also, I already mentioned during the last workshop, the XML package contains file number in two ways. For eForms notice, the XML file have 8 digits followed by the year. It is an example. And for TED schema notice, the XML file have 6 digits followed by the year. Okay, now I will show you it in live. I don't know how to do that. Yes, I stop this and I will share another page. So you see my screen, I suppose.
Perfect, Carmelo, we can see it, yes. Okay,
now download XML in bulk. As I mentioned,
Carmelo, select again. Maybe make it a bit bigger.
A bit, yes, sorry.
Yeah, even more.
More, like that?
No, or yeah, a little bit less, I would say now.
Like that?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, so I'm at the home page of TED, the new TED. You see here the URL, which is gamma. So if you want to download the XML package, you have to go in the menu CMAP, select Open Data, and click XML bulk download. Then, as I said during the presentation, you can select or the daily package or the monthly package. For the daily package, you can select the year and the months. So if I want to download the package from today, the daily package from today, I click download, and the package will be downloaded. You can see it on the right, which is downloaded. Okay, so for the monthly package, I will not download because it is very high. So I can select the year, as I said, and I can select the month. If I want to download the monthly package of September, I click download. Now, as I mentioned, it's possible to make the download using the direct link. So it is easy, even via the user interface, you can get the URL. For example, if I want to download the OGS 200, if I click on the right, I can copy the link and you see here the URL. Maybe it's too small, but the format is as I mentioned. So I have a text document where you can see the URL also. So if I click there, I will be able to download. You can see it on the right side here that it is downloaded. Voila. So this is the how to download XML in bulk, daily package, or monthly package. So it is easy, very easy for me. No need to sign in. The URL is very simple. So coming back to the presentation. Sorry, I have to. So coming back to the presentation, the next topic is to download notice in any format using direct links. So you can download a notice using direct link in the format listed below in any EU official language. So you can download HTML. No, this is to go to the page to view the notice. You can download the notice in HTML. You can download the notice in signed PDF for the official language of the notice. Or you can download the notice in non-signed PDF, or you can download the XML format. So I mentioned here that the format HTML download is a new feature compared to the current TED website. So thanks to this, there is no need for an API on the TED portal to render a notice. So if I use the HTML download, I will be able to download HTML format of the notice. So just to tell you that there will be only one API that can be used to render the eForm notice in PDF or HTML. And this API, the Swagger, is here, and you can read more information about that API via that page, docs.ted.europa.eu. So how to download a notice using the direct link. So you select a notice, for example, this one. You click show the direct link, and then you will have a pop-up windows where you can select the format you want to download. Just to tell you, when you are using the user interface, you can see the signed PDF format if you select the user interface the same as the official language. I will show you in the demo. So the format to get the format of the URL for direct link is this one, where you use HTTPS, the URL of TED, the language, the notice, the publication number, and the format you want. So the direct link of the notice view page is different. The format is different. So this is the format to show to display the notice at the level of the website. And also useful functionality is that there is a backward compatibility with the current TED. So here you can have the compatibility of the current TED, and this is the new TED. So here I can display the URL of the notice that notice, and you can see that for HTML to display the notice at the level of the TED website, I'm using the format as I mentioned. HTML download is this one. Non-signed PDF is this one. Okay, this is a specific notice. No, I think that I made a mistake here. Yes, non-signed PDF, it's okay. It is in several languages. And signed PDF, you can see that the format is PDFs and in the language of that specific notice. So I will make a demo for that. So coming back to the website. So if I want to download the notice, for example, I select the OGS, the latest OGS published today. And here I have the list of the notice, and I will select a notice. Yes, a Belgian notice. This is I suppose that it is an eForms. If I select this one, I will view the content of the notice. So here you can see the summary of the notice, the different language, and you can see that the official language is Netherlands in Dutch. And this is the notice, the content of the notice, the full content of the notice. And you can navigate on the left, navigate through that notice. Now, if I want to see the direct link of that, I click here. So I can, this is the HTML, this is the URL of the current, the display on the website. Or I can select HTML download. I can copy to clipboard, and also I can put it here to download directly the notice. You will see here that I have downloaded. Here I can see the non-signed PDF. We'll download also the non-signed PDF. I'm loading. And also the XML, the same. And then you can see that here, you cannot see the signed PDF, but as you know, that notice is the official language of that notice is in Dutch. So I select now Netherlands, Dutch. And if I see now the direct link, yes, it is this one. Sorry, this is sorry. Direct link is here. Where it is? Normal. Sorry.
You have chosen German, not
Yes,
French.
sorry. Where is? I select. Je ne vois pas. Netherlands. Okay. Netherlands. Something is so here I can see the direct link, and you can see here under Tang, this is the signed PDF. You can see this here. Control C, Control V. Okay, I have downloaded all the format for that specific language. I can do it for any other language, but just for the demo. Now I will show you it in share. Do you see? No, I think you don't see my.
Let's wait to see if it appears, Carmelo, because it says Carmelo Greco is starting to share content.
Yes, but what I'm sharing.
No, so maybe since it's not coming, try again.
Okay, okay. Share. Share content.
No, it hasn't changed. So.
Okay.
Stop sharing and then start sharing again.
Stop sharing.
Yes, and then start again.
Share. Yes, but okay. I think you see.
Yes, now we can see this folder where you have.
Okay.
Okay.
So here you can see the. I don't know if I can zoom in. No, I cannot zoom in. You can see the format. So I will show you the HTML download. So this is the HTML of the notice that I downloaded. Here it is the signed PDF. No, not the signed PDF. Yes, the signed PDF. But it takes time. Okay. So this is the signed PDF, the notice. So normally we can see it is signed.
Carmelo, we don't see the PDF itself. We see still your screen with all the folders.
Sorry. I don't know what happened. So I stopped sharing.
I think that's best. And then just share that particular.
Yes. Here you see the signed PDF.
Yes, thank you.
I have downloaded it. And the non-signed PDF is the same. I think that we have seen the HTML now, right? I don't know. Did you see the HTML also or not? I will do it again. You see my screen here?
Yes.
So this is the HTML that I have downloaded. Okay. So now I will go to the next. I will talk to the next topic. You see my screen, but not. Do you see it?
We can see the presentation.
Okay, in full screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So next topic is the search API. So the Swagger, the URL of the Swagger is this one. API Gamma, TED-v2, etc. And the URL to make the request is API Gamma v3 notice search. So the new search API is not backward compatible. So this is clear. What are the functionality? We have two search modes. The pagination mode to allow to retrieve up to 15,000 notices for a given query using the pagination. And we have another mode, which is iteration mode or scan mode. Then you can retrieve more notice than 15,000. And in the response file, what you will have the total number of notices that match the search and list the result. Each result contains the field indicated in the request, and each item contains the list of the URL of the various formats and languages in which the corresponding notice is available. So when you will get a result, you will have also the URL to download the notice in any various format, HTML, PDF, signed PDF, and also in all EU languages. So with the that API, you can have a lot of information, retrieve a lot of information. So search mode pagination, as I mentioned in the slide, the previous slide. You can retrieve up to 15,000 notices for a given query. There are limits. You can, the maximum number of the retrievable notice is 15,000. The maximum number of notices per page is 250, and the maximum number of fields per page is 10,000. This means that you can, in the result list, you can have the field, the value of the field that you want to have. So in case of limit is reached, you will have an error. And for the iteration mode, so you can retrieve all notices for a given query without limitation. So with this mode, the user called the search API to retrieve the first result page, and you will have a token. And with this token, if you include it in the next query, the search API will retrieve the next result page. So with that mode, it's what we name scroll mode. You can retrieve more than, I don't know, more than 15,000. So there are also limits. The maximum number of notices per page is 250. The maximum number of fields per page is 10,000. So if you have an error, the API will, if you reach the limit, sorry, the API will return an error to the user. So what are the field of the API, the endpoint? You have the query, which is an expert search query to filter and sort the notice. The fields, which are the field to return for each notice. The page, the result page number used to paginate the result in pagination mode. The limit maximum number of return notice. The scope is the search scope, so you know that, or the current OGS, or the active notice, or all the notice. Here we have also the check query syntax. So by using this, it's a Boolean, false or true. You can check the syntax of the query. So it returns only if the syntax is okay or not. Here, this field is to use or the pagination mode or the iteration mode, scroll mode. And this is the specific field when you use the iteration mode, where you put the token returned by the previous call to search the endpoint to retrieve the next result of the page. So I will make a demo just after this. So the first demo will be to find the notice of the OGS 18/2023, where the place of performance is Luxembourg, and the results must contain the publication number, the notice title, the buyer name, and the form type. So this is the query. The query. Retrieve the OGS, the OGS number 180, not 18. I made a mistake. I want to select the place of performance Luxembourg, and in the result, I would like to have the publication number, the notice title, the buyer name, the notice type. Page 1, I will limit it to 10 items. The scope is for the active notice. The query syntax is false, and the mode is pagination, page number. So this is the query to do. The next demo will be to find a notice where the place of performance is Luxembourg, and the result must contain the publication number. So the query is this one, simple. Place performance in Luxembourg, the field publication number, I limit it to 10, the scope is active, check query syntax is false, the pagination mode is iteration, and okay, iteration next token is null, the first one is null, but the next one I have to get the next result, I have to put this token, not this one, but what I will get in the result. So now I will make a demo. So you see my screen?
Yes.
And I will enlarge. Oh, it's too much. You see better now. Huh? So this is the Swagger of the TED Search API. It is, for me, it is well documented. You have a good description now. So describing what I have described in the presentation. There are two modes: the pagination mode, the scroll mode, the limit, very detailed. So the limit for the pagination mode, the limit of the scroll mode, iteration, the versioning, description. Here we have frequently asked question, but okay, so it will become later. And here you have the operation to do. So the operation is a post operation. The search query, if you want to make a query, use the expert. It's better to use the expert search to make the query because it is very useful, the expert search page. So if I want to test it, I will use this. So I will make a test for pagination mode. So I have a lot of voilà, this is the query I mentioned, and I will execute it. So this is the curl command, and this is the response body 200. So you can see here the notice type of the first item, the publication number, the name of the buyer, and as I said, the links for any format and any language. So XML, PDF, signed PDF, HTML, HTML direct. And this is the next item, this title, etc., etc. So this is the first query. So using pagination. So I can select also page 2 if I want to put the page 2, execute. And you have the page 2. Voilà. Now, if I want to make not the pagination mode, but the iteration mode. So here I put the query. So I make the query where the place of performance is in Luxembourg, and I want to see the field publication number. The limit is 10, scope active, iteration is, the pagination mode is iteration. So I execute it. The curl, the answer. So if I go down of the result, I have the iteration token. So you have to do with your system to get the next iteration token, and then you put it here. And you execute, and okay, the result will scroll. So you will have, oh, okay, I have to make clear first and execute. Voilà. And then you have the next, etc., etc. Until okay, you have another token, and you will continue to scroll it. I stop the demo, and then I will share again the presentation. Okay, so done. I've passed all the topic. So now, if you have questions, specific question, I don't know how we can proceed for that.
I would say that we start with the questions that we have in the chat, because we have quite some. I put down around 28 questions so far. So if that's okay with everybody, this is what I would propose. Okay. So I can maybe read the question, and then we can see if you have the answer to it. And then, of course, other colleagues can intervene whenever there is a need. So the first question that I've seen is from Lutz Donehake, and it goes like this. Will the reappeared, I don't know why it says reappeared, bulk download continue to stay? Does the download require individual access tokens, or is it anonymous?
So can I answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. Reappeared, I don't understand what this means, but as I show in the demo, you don't need to sign in. So you can make a bulk download. What I mentioned is that you cannot do a bulk download via FTP. That's all. But you can download the packages.
Okay, so I hope that this is clear now. So I will go to the second question. Where can the XPath definitions for the expert search types be found? Current documentation does only list the XPath for the old documents, not the eForms. It's also Lutz asking the question.
Okay, so, okay, if I understand well, where can the XPath definition for the expert search? I suppose that you get an you have this information in the current FTP server, and this provides the XPath of each TED schema notice, right? I think it is this, I'm not sure, but what you have to know is that with the eForm, you have a specific site, which is docs.europa.eu, where you can find any information of the XPath of eForm. This is my understanding of the question. Now, if it is specific to expert search, so I can show you the expert search page on the site, and but there is no notion of XPath. Huh? So I can share the screen and go to the website. So if I go, so I suppose that you see my screen. Huh?
Yes, we can see your screen.
So I switch in English. And if I click to expert search, yes, this is the expert search. And okay, there is no notion of XPath, but for example, if I want to, I want to see, okay, the business opportunities of where the notice type is, I will filter standard. I think that the sharing has been stopped. No?
Yes, you are not sharing now.
Ah. Okay. I want to select the contract or concession notice standard regime. Add to query. So notice type same standard, or I can switch in text mode, notice type, contract or concession notice. If I make a search, I will get a result of that specific notice. But I'm not sure this is the question asked by Lutz. It is, I think it is.
Lutz, maybe you can unmute yourself. Is it possible, or do I need to unmute you just to confirm to Carmelo that you have the correct understanding for this question? You are there? The question is your second question about the XPath definitions for the expert search. Where can the XPath definitions for the expert search be found? Current documentation does only list the XPath for the old documents, not eForms. You cannot unmute yourself. Let me see if I can help this.
Yeah, Lutz Vornager for the record.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I had a lot of questions, so I didn't know which question you are talking about.
Yeah.
The problem I had, or I have, is that we post-processing the XML and try to find out which of the queries or search tokens are embedded in which part of the XML, and we use the XPath definitions we found for the old TED format, but was not able to find the new one. The documentation I had contained the definition of the new fields, a composition with the old fields, and the XPath for the old document, not for the new one. So maybe I'm missing something in the last few minutes. If yes, can you put in the link to the XPath definitions for the new fields? It would be fine. Thanks.
Yes. So it's okay. HTTPS docs.ted.
You can put it in the chat, Carmelo, if you have.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Okay, good, perfect. All right, so while Carmelo is putting in the chat the answer, I will go to the third question. Is there an API to completely download the HTML representation of, for example, and we have a notice? And this is a question asked by Stefan Hintz.
Yes, okay, it's not an API, but you have the direct link to download the notice in HTML, and I mention it in the presentation.
So this, I think, is something that you replied to in the presentation. Is it correct, Stefan?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. All right, then I move to the fourth question. Do you impose a rate limit for the query/render API? If yes, can it be increased so that complex queries can be constructed outside, that is, combining results of subqueries to new result lists? This is a question by Lutz again.
We impose a rate limit for the query render API. So for the query, not for, okay. In the current TED, I think that there is a limit for the rendering. So with the new TED, there is no API to render the notice. You just get the direct link and you can download the format you want, PDF or whatever. Until now, I don't know the limits. I don't see the limit. Okay, but okay, I have to talk to our technical contractor. But for me, I don't see.
So there is no limit. That would be the question. So the answer so far. Anyway, just to reassure participants, I have put everything down, and we will provide all the answers also in writing. Okay, just to make sure that everybody has all the answers. All right, then we can move to the next question. I think it's question 5, and it goes like this. It seems like the existing TED Viewer API is not yet working with eForms. Will there be a new API, or will the existing one be updated? This is a question by Alexander Renner, and I think you also answered, Carmelo, but I let you develop.
Okay, so as I mentioned, the new TED website will not provide an API to render the notice, and there is still an API to render eForm notice, and you can find this information also in doc.ted.europa.eu, where you can see the API to render the notice. But TED website will not provide the API to render the notice. You just use the URL to download the notice in the right format you want and in the right language you want.
So I also invite the people who ask the questions to intervene if the in this case it was Alexander. If you have comments, please take the scene. Otherwise, we move to the next one.
Yeah, so just to clarify, that means that the
eForm notice viewer API in version 2 stays the same and can be then also used for old and new notification for new notices with eForm and the old one. Is that correct?
No, no, it is
Okay.
not correct. No, no, no. So there is only one API. There will be only one API to render eForm notice. Now, if you want to render all notice or eForm notice, as I mentioned, the TED website provides you the possibility to provide the URL to get the notice in the right format or and in the right language. And it can be old TED schema notice or eForm notice. So the API to render the notice is only to render eForm notice.
Okay, thank you.
So, sorry, Carmelo, just to intervene for this because
Yes.
it's a reasonable confusion.
Yes.
Colleagues here have. Okay. I would like to clarify a couple of things just for to understand the context, because whether we like it or not, we are for the last year or so in a kind of a transitional period until the new TED will be in place and eForms will be fully in place and not having both the schema and eForms notice. Okay, so what is happening today in the current TED? Okay, the existing one, the real, as they say, the one that is running now. Okay, it offers these visualization APIs, okay, to visualize both TED schema notices or eForms notices. And in parallel, okay, because actually we reshuffle everything in the that has to do with the notices publication process, okay, because of the eForms. Okay, we have not in TED environments, but in the other TED applications that we host that cater for the reception and the processing of notices in order to be sent to TED for publication, okay? So there we have also an API, this free to think that I think the link is in the comments, okay? Which is only to visualize eForms, okay? This API is there and was developed because of eForms. It is hosted and it's managed by the publications office and not by the TED contractor. So it's a different environment. And this API has a key difference that in order to use it, it requires an API key, okay? Like all the other APIs that we have for the ones that are mainly submitting notices or want to submit notices for publication. We have a validation API, we have the viewer API, we have a conversion API soon, okay? And all this information can be found in this docs.ted.europa.edu that Carmelo mentioned, okay? As soon as the new TED goes live and the current one disappears, okay? The APIs for viewing that the current TED provides will stop to exist, okay? So when TED2 goes live, there will not be the viewer API, the visualization API that you have currently for rendering TED schema notices, and also the one provided by TED currently, which does not require an API key to render eForms notices. And as Carmelo explained during his presentation, you will be able to get all the formats directly, etc., without the need for you to convert it. However, the V2, this viewer API that I said that requires the API key, which is just for eForms, will stay, but will not be provided by TED. It will be provided by our TED apps environment, let's say, which will be available to anyone. And of course, because it's public, you can also use it, okay? But it will be just for eForms. So it's a bit, sometimes cause confusion. I hope when TED2 goes live, things will be clearer. But that's the situation with the visualization APIs and the fact that we currently have a transitional period. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the
I don't know, Alexander, and not just Alexander, also the rest, if covered you. Okay. But this is more or less the story. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for clarification. So basically, what I take away is better practice would be to fetch it directly from the TED website via the direct links that we discussed.
Yes. When the new website goes live, yes. Okay. But nobody will stop you from using the other one if you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Understood.
So, sorry, Carmelo. Actually, to Laura, the floor is
No,
back.
it's okay. Thank you for intervening, George. And I will move to the next question, which is also about the API. So will the new search API work with all TED formats too? Do you provide an automatic translation of fields? That is 2-letter codes versus 3-letter codes automatically? Or is it necessary to specify a special form of question in order to get the old format and the second one for the new format? This is a question by Lutz.
I will read again because.
Do you want me to share? It's a bit difficult for me to share actually. Because
No. Okay. Will the new search API work with all TED format? What TED format means? Does it mean the query, or does it mean the result will provide the result of TED schema notice? Okay.
So Lutz, maybe you can clarify for this question about the API working with all TED formats.
So I can answer, but it's for me, it's
I'm
not clear
sure
enough.
Lutz
But
is there to say something about this. Hello, Lutz, are you there? Well, I don't get any reply, so I think that in that case, maybe it's better that we just provide an answer in writing, unless he's joining us to explain what he means. You are there? No. I don't. Maybe other people can mute themselves. Don't have a question to ask. Okay, I will move on to the next question. In Italy, we have the need to archive only PDF/A files. Our Eastern. Can you please mute yourselves, please? All right. So again, the next question. In Italy, we have the need to archive only PDF/A files. Our eSender downloads through an automation, I guess, the notices from eNotices, which are in PDF and not in PDF/A. If I'm not wrong, notices published in TED are in PDF/A. Is it possible for an eSender to implement a service that downloads PDF/A from TED? A question by Gloria G.
yes. So yes, it is feasible. As you can, I show you, you can download any format in any language of the notice published on TED. So you can do that. You can do it using the direct link. Yes, you can do it using the direct link, and that's all. Or you can combine, okay, I make a query via the API to get the specific notice I want to download. Based on the results, I will have the URL of the specific notice I want to download, and I use that URL to download the notice in that specific format. So it's possible, yes.
Automatically is the question of
automatically is okay. I think that people must implement okay a service which gets the result automatically. Means they have to automate that.
Okay.
Yes,
So
but it's easy for me.
Okay, she says we need to import the files to our platforms through an automation. I don't know if this is a question or a statement. Statement, okay, good. So yes, if you have an automated, what I understand from what Carmelo says is that if you have an automated process in place, you don't have a problem with
Exactly.
your question.
You use the right URL and the right, it's easy.
Okay, I guess you are satisfied, Gloria. If not, you let us know. And in the meantime, I'm moving on to the next question, which says, is XML format tender notices available in the future? It's a question by Lalit.
XML format tender notice.
I'm not really sure what the person means.
Yes, because, okay.
But Lalit, if you want
procurement notice are available on TED and even in XML format.
No, but I can answer. Or I think I can answer.
We
Yeah.
cannot hear you, George, or we hear you quite badly.
Now I can close
Better.
the mic. Okay. So the new TED will continue to have the same data, public procurement data, like the current one. Okay. So the TED, and I understand the XML format in the sense that the old TED schema, the TED schema notice. So this will continue to be there in the new TED for the time that any procurement data are available in TED. So they will not be deleted even if we switch, if everybody starts to send in the coming months only forms. Okay. The new TED 2 is not just for reforms. The new TED 2 will have the same data, public procurement data, like the current one. Okay. Because that we don't delete data, we will not remove data. Public procurement data. Okay.
Thank you, George. Gloria is coming
That was my understanding of the question. Okay. So
I just let people intervene if they are not happy with the answer. And like I said, we will also provide some answers in writing, and everybody takes the responsibility to understand the questions, the answers to the questions they've asked. So coming back to Gloria, she says that the automated process only does it for normal PDFs, not PDF /A. I don't know if we have any comments about this. I guess it's possible to do it also for this type of PDF. Right, Carmelo?
On TED, the format is PDF/A-1A.
Okay, so basically all of them should have that format. So Gloria, coming back to your question, if you are taking the PDFs from TED, all of them should have that format.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So your automatic process, if it's based on TED, it should give you the correct. Good. Thank you. All right. So then we move to another question by Gloria, and it is, if a delegated contracting authority manages the contracting phase, that is publication of notices and cans and changes, and the delegating contracting authority manages the contract execution, contract modification notices, is it possible for the delegating authority to publish with its address info?
Laura, I suggest that this is answered by Carl. That is, it's muted.
Ah, we have Carl with us. Thank you.
So because
But
this is
he's
mainly
not...
for reforms and not and how you what you can
Yes.
publish or what you can send in reforms. So
But
Carl
he
is
has...
expert
Do
here.
you have a problem with the microphone, Carl? I'm not sure what I can do to help you because you're not muted. I can move you to the stage. Will that help? Hello? Did you disappear now or? I'm not sure we have Carl with us anymore.
No, he is there, but the point is that it seems that he cannot be heard.
Okay, I am not sure what I can do about that.
Okay, he's speaking the sign language. Okay, so I guess he's saying that
I'm not sure that
he will type the answer. Let's move on with the other questions, and he will type the answer for Gloria. Okay, for this specific
Okay,
question.
good. We do that. Next question. How could I search in the expert mode for CPV code?
Okay, I can answer by not by heart like that, but I can do the query and I provide it.
Okay, so you will reply to Evelyn in writing then.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good, thank you. Then the next question is also from Lalit. When will the HTTPS be available to download XML?
It is available.
It is available already, Lalit.
Yes, and yes, and even today with the current set.
Okay, then we move on. And we have, as the FTP access gets shut down, how do we access that bulk download of daily packages? A curl or QRL, I'm not sure, a curl example makes my problems with name guessing understandable. This is a question by Patrick, but I think you answered, but please develop.
We don't need to use a curl example. Use the HTTPS, and I provide you in the presentation what is the format, so it's easy.
Okay. Then we can move to the next one. What is the OJS number? How to get it by date? Another question.
Okay, on the current, on the new TED, you can get the publication, the yearly publication plan.
I suggest that you show it again. Is it possible to show it again? Just,
Yes, I will share it and I will show it. Share. You see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. If I go to the main page of TED, you have the release calendar. When you click in the release calendar on the right, you can download the annual release. 22, 23, 21. So in format XLS, PDF, CSV. So you can download it and you will see that on that format, XML format, you will have for the date and the OGS number. So it's available on the website.
Okay, so because we are getting close to 12 o'clock, let's take another question and then we break. Let me see where we were. Okay, when will the FTP server be dismissed? The question on everybody's lips.
Okay, when we switch off the current TED and we switch on the new TED. Normally in January.
Okay, so with this, I think that we can break for now. If you have more questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we will go through them when we come back. Just as a reminder, we are coming back at 2 o'clock, 1400 hours. I will keep the session open in the meantime, and yeah, like I said, if you have more questions, post them. I make sure that they will get into our document and hopefully be answered today. If not, okay, everybody. Can you hear me? I guess yes.
Yes, clearly.
Perfect. All right. So welcome back. I hope you had a good lunch. And we will start immediately because I think we have quite some questions to answer to. And we will see if you have any particular questions related to the testing environment as such. But I propose that we start with the questions that we got in the morning so that we go through all of them And then at the end, George would like to reserve 15 minutes to answer some questions that we received in advance of the workshop. Upon registration, people were allowed to ask questions, and some of you have done so. So we will address those before we break today as well. Maybe another thing that I would like to say before we go back to the questions is related to what seems to be a bit of a misunderstanding about what is happening on the 25th of October. Some people seem to have understood that the new TED is going live at that point. So that is not the case, actually. As I wrote in the chat, we expect the new TED to go live in January of next year. What is happening next week is simply that eForms become obligatory, which means that people who are submitting notices to us are supposed to use the new forms from that date on only. Okay, so with this, I will move back to my questions and see where we left off. Okay. I think I was on the question of Sébastien. Will there be an API that returns the list of available bulk notice packages? I don't know if we have Carmelo there with us.
Yes, no. No,
So
the answer is no.
Okay. I don't know if you want to make any comments, Sébastien, to this, or if that's fine for you. I will. Okay. If not, then let's move on. I have somebody called UTF, or yeah, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. I understand that in eForms, the change notices should take the notice type code of the reference notice for which the change is related to. So how can I filter in the expert search specifically for change notices? I don't know if this is something you want to address right now, Carmelo, or if you will simply reply to it later on.
Okay. In the current TED, there is a functionality where we can see the latest version of the notice. So meaning that the change notice will be displayed, will only be displayed and not the previous version. So in the future TED, this will be implemented before the go live. That's all. I think that I answered to your question. Well, I don't know if you did if Uti did the test in the current TED, but it's possible in the current TED.
Okay. So then moving on. Question regarding the daily package download. In FTP, I can select the package to download by looking at the upload dates, regardless of OJS, I guess, number or specific date. In HTTPS download, I would have to calculate the correct OJS number, which seems unnecessary overhead. This is a question by Mark.
Yes, it's a comment, but it's not a question. So it has been implemented as we did. So
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Mark. Sorry. Yeah, but you already answered my questions. You already told that we have to download the OJS calendar.
Yes.
But nevertheless, then it would be fine to have like a standard URL where I can automatically download the next year's calendar. Let's say, like, I don't know, calendar and then year number or so. Because it would, of course, in the future be necessary to in December download the OJS calendar for next year if you have a fully
Okay.
service.
I will answer this. Okay. As Carmelo showed already, this functionality does not exist. Okay, so you have to do it manually. Okay. However,
I don't hear you very well.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I will start again. Now you can hear me better, Laura?
And so,
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm coming even closer. So,
Yes.
what we have and what we will have in the new TED is what Carmelo showed. Okay, so to get the release calendar, the current year, but also the years before, you have to do it manually. However, we take note of this lack of programmatic, let's say, or an automated way to get this, and we will see if something can be done. I don't know if it will be done before the go live of the new TED, but we take note of this and we will see if we can introduce a new functionality to be able also to do this. Okay. I think so. That's the question. That's the answer to what Mark said. To say something else, because we keep on having, and it's not the first time in this workshop, it was also in the previous ones, a lot of questions about the FTP and the HTTPS or whatever. Okay. The FTP could not be maintained anymore because the FTP is a leftover of things that exist in the past, where also there were licenses and things like this in order to get information. There were serious security. Anyhow, you see, there is no authentication, literally. Okay, it's a guest, the username and the password, so this is crap. This could not be maintained also for security reasons. So we took the decision, evaluating also the pros and cons, that the best way is to have this more HTTPS, let's say, access, and abandon completely, together with the infrastructure that is behind it, the FTP store. Okay, so that was the rationale. I understand it causes some issues to some of you, or because it's also, something that existed there for ages. You were used to it, but the FTP is abandoned once and for all with the new TED. Okay, so everybody needs to adapt and move on to the HTTPS, and we will see if there are any, I can say, further things that can be introduced to make your life even more easy. At this part, we will see, and we will try to do them in the future. Okay. So Carmelo, back to you.
Yes, I would like to add something else, because in the current TED you cannot see the calendar of 2024, but in the new TED you will be able to see the calendar of 2024. But in the Gamma environment that we are providing to you, it is not available. But in our environment used for testing, it is available. So voilà. So it will be available not the 25th of December, but will be available in October. So if you want, I can share the test environment. And,
no, but again, this is something that we can answer. It's the fact that, as I said, the Gamma environment, or the environment that we made available to you guys for your testing since 10 days, as I said already, and will stay there for a while, is almost the same with the parallel environment that we're using, so the test environment that Carmelo was saying. So here it's indeed an action that was not done yet by our side to upload also in the Gamma environment the yearly production plan of 2024 that we put in our own test environment. Okay, but this will be done soon. Okay, so anyhow, this will be there. So
yes.
of course for 2024, because for 2025, 26, or whatever, this will not come. They come, as you know already, and it's happening in the current TED. The release plan is made available close to the end of the year before, right, Carmelo?
Yes, but it is also available via the FTP in the current TED. If you go to FTP and resources, you can find the yearly production plan, the yearly plan, publication plan. Yes.
Okay, can we go back to the question of Ute, because they say My question is not sufficiently answered. In the current TED and in the old format, I can filter change notices. However, I cannot filter specifically for change notices in eForms format as they don't have the notice type core. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So I need to think about.
I put it there for us to remember
Yes.
then that this is something that we need to think about.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me add it and then I will continue. So we are, I guess, now done with the question of marks. So I will move on to the next one. Do I need to extract download URLs from XML bulk download page as OJS number is unknown? Okay, so do I need to extract download URLs from XML bulk download page as OJS number is unknown? That's a question by Patrick. I'm not sure if this makes sense to you, Carmelo.
No, can you repeat again? Do I need to extract download URL
from XML bulk download page as OJS number is unknown? Not sure. Maybe Patrick wants to.
With a question mark or something like that, or I don't.
Yeah, that's a question mark. I
Yes.
guess that the meaning of it is when the OJS number is unknown, do I need to extract URLs from the XML bulk download? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Patrick, you can come back and expand on this question, what you mean by it exactly. If you are with us, I don't see everybody now. But if you would like, Patrick Stricker. Anyway, the next question is also by Patrick, so I will move to the next one, and maybe he wants to comment on the previous one. So would it be possible to generate an index of all files in the parent directory of the daily archives?
Would it be possible to generate an index of all files?
In the parent directory of the daily archives. I'm not sure what this relates to either, really.
But what is the goal? What is the goal? I don't understand. Just to have the URL? You can build the URL based on the format I provided in the presentation. So you can do it by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if Patrick wants to comment on this or not. If not, I suggest that we move on. What is the official new direct link structure to a notice? It's a question by Alexander Renner.
The new direct link structure to a notice. Okay,
the structure
put
of
it
the
in the
link.
Yes, I can share it. I will share it again in the presentation.
If you have it in the presentation, okay, you can.
Yes.
We can just reply later, I guess, because I don't think that this is something that is super urgent for Alexander to know. But if you can get it quickly, you can put it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, it's already answered. Thanks, he says. Good. So good that you are happy, Alexander. Then I will move to the next one. Will the base URL of the production environment remain as https ted.europa.eu/xml-packages/daily-packages? It's a question by Dimitris.
So I will copy it. So the URL is not like that. It is ted.europa.eu/packages/notice/daily/ OGS number.
Okay, so maybe you can put it in the chat as well, and we will provide it, of course, with the answers.
Sorry, Laura, all this can be seen in the comment bar. Okay?
I don't hear you very well, George.
No, I not open my camera because it seems that the network is not good home. But all these things can be in terms of URLs, etc. Apart from the part that is the domain name, let's say, which is different, test environment, and it will become TED.europa.eu when we go live with TED 2. All the rest can be seen, how the URLs will be structured and what will be the syntax can be seen in the gamma environment. Okay, so if someone goes to the XML bulk download pages, either for the monthly or the daily packages in the test environment, in this gamma environment, they can see how it is structured after the domain name. Okay.
Okay. So the next question. Why is there the notice render API when we can download directly the notice as HTML or PDF? It's a question by Sebastian Nussbaumer.
Why? Okay, so I suppose that you are asking this because there will be an API to render eForm notice. This is used. Okay, the API to render eForm notice, which is available, is used by the customer submitting the notice. When they submit the notice, they can render the notice, or it is also available to render the notice in notices too. So it is available, and voila.
So basically, we could also say that this is not necessarily something for reusers. It's basically for
exactly.
people
Laura,
exactly.
Sorry, Laura. It's again what I think I answered it at some before the break when for a similar question. As you said, it's recommended and it's easier to get with a new TED the HTML or the PDF directly from the TED as Carmelo from the new TED as Carmelo showed already. However, we have this API, but not in TED. In the other environment that we have for all the other applications that is publicly available, and anyone that wants can use it if he or she likes. Okay, but the recommended, and that's why it's the easier thing, is to get things directly from TED, as Carmelo already showed in the presentation. Okay, I think that's what we said before.
Yes.
So let's go on.
Will you have a redirecting mechanism so that currently working direct links to individual tenders notices will be redirected to the new URI scheme after the launch of the new TED website? Question by Mark.
Yes, it is available. So, but okay. Yes, it is available. I can show you this. I will make the demo. I think it's better. Am I sharing something or not? Share.
Yes, now you're starting.
Yes, now yes. Oh. Now yes. Okay. So, for example, so this is the URL of the notice 632. Okay, I will zoom in, it will be better, and then I will go to TED.europa.eu, and I will search for that the same notice, this one. So it is the same. In the direct link, when I see this, how can I show? Do you see my text? No, you don't see what is in my text. Okay, you see here, it's very, very, very small. You have at the end a tab. So The direct link is this, the tab. You have here a tab. So to be redirected correctly, I have to use. So I go to the new TED and I put I will get an error, but if I remove the tab, yes, it will be redirected. You see, I use the IDL of the direct link, but I remove the tab. Do you understand? So this part should be removed. And with this, you will be able I don't remember of the gamma.
So basically, are you, Carmelo, saying that the links will not change for whatever is or
the link will not change? Yes, the link will not change.
So there is not a need for a redirection, really.
For the reuser, it is very useful. So
Okay.
if a reuser store the current link of a notice published, I don't know, 3 months ago, you will be able to use the same direct link in the new TED to be redirected to the notice, the same notice.
Just to be more precise, okay, as you showed for the HTML, they have to remove, and we're talking again for the direct links, okay? So currently we have 4 direct links to HTML, to the XML, to the PDF, and to the signed PDF, okay? So the 3 of them, PDF, signed PDF, and XML, will work seamlessly. So we have nothing to do, everything is there are internal redirections in the new TED, everything is fine. However, for the HTML direct link, as Carmelo showed, because the current TED has the notion of the tabs, okay, when you see a notice, and this notion does not exist anymore in the new TED, you have to remove this thing that had at the end, this ampersand doubled equal 1 or 0 or whatever, okay, and then it works. That's the hiccup for this. But still, even this point, I think we will take note of it to see if we do something or we change something in the new TED to avoid this. But for the moment, it's what I said. The 3 direct links work seamlessly. The fourth one, the HTML, you have to remove the part that is after the ampersand. All the rest will be fine, okay? But again, it's only for the direct links, okay?
Great, thank you, George. So the next question. At what date will the FTP no longer be available to download notices in bulk? A question by Sebastian.
The answer is when we switch off the current TED and we switch on the new TED.
I'm laughing a little bit because I think we've answered it before, but I think we should answer again every time the question comes so that the people really get the time to process everything. The next one is about machine translation links on the notice details does not work for me. This is a question by Madsen Fleming. Is this functionality not implemented, the machine translation, Carmelo?
No, it is. It is. I can do the test if you want.
Okay, so maybe you can show it quickly and
yes.
then.
No, again, sorry. Again, I'm jumping in. I think here Fleming's question is not about the machine translation itself. This is there in the new TED, it's working. I think here he means about having saved links of translated, machine translated notices from the current dead. So it's a kind of redirection again. So this is not covered. Okay, this does not work. As I said before, the redirection works seamlessly for the direct links. Okay. So indeed, if I had the translation in the current dead in Portuguese or in French or in English notes, etc., I will have to go to the new text, and if I want, I have to request it again. Okay, but it's this part is not part of the migrated links, let's say. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if this answers your question, Madsen. If not, you can always.
Yeah, well, sorry to interrupt. Yes, it kind of does. So it confirms that the machine translation HTML, which is when you view the page, the notice detail in NewTed, it says under PDFs, it says in the section called languages and formats, under PDFs, it says machine translation HTML. If you mouse over the languages, they appear to be clickable, but nothing happens when you click the language icons. Is that because you need to be signed in to request a machine translation?
Yes, but normally it is mentioned when you hover over this. I can share.
It's
So
better to share, I think. I see a bit what Madsen means there.
So here, request translate. Do you mean this?
No.
No, further down.
In the notice view there, in languages and
formats.
formats.
There we are, machine translation. If you click on BG, I would expect to have the whole notice in Bulgarian.
Ah, okay. So you have, okay. So this is okay. Normally we should not have this. But if we want to make a request for translation, we sign in first.
Yes, I understand. But that's not my question. My question is, what is the intended functionality where it says machine translation HTML? There. What is the intended functionality?
Okay, I think that when somebody has downloaded something, it should appear there.
Exactly. Yes. When someone asks for a machine translation, the translated notice will be available for anyone.
What is confusing is that it looks as if it's clickable and it should not.
Yes.
And I think that this is what confuses you, Madsen, right?
Yes.
Understood. Okay, I understand it now. Is there any plans so it's possible to request a machine translated version directly using a link or something like that, rather than signing in?
You should sign in. If you request a translation, you have to sign in. But if it is already available, you can get the translated notice.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just Fleming, this is the same functionality like it is in the current tab. The look and feel is a bit different, okay, but the operation is the same like today. Okay?
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, so then let's move on. We have here a comment and question from Lutz. It took you about a year to come up with this state of implementation and specification. Do I assume correctly that we'll have more than a day to update and test all our local processes and software? Question by Lutz.
Okay, I will take this. Yes, of course, you will have more on one day, and we will avoid any surprises of telling you, tomorrow we go live to the new test. Okay, there will be advance notice for this. Okay.
Okay. Then the next question is about the test environment. So far, I had only time to look at the web page, etc. Can we from now on also text bulk download and direct links to download HTML and PDF versions as well? This will give us all time to have our environments ready by January when the new website and download features will be due. This is by Mark. I think I had kind of answered to that, Mark, but
yes,
my colleagues.
Yes, you had already.
Yes.
It was fine.
So,
thanks.
Yeah, the idea is exactly this. Go there and test whatever you would like to test in the gamma environment.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Okay, then we have a link also by Fleming Madsen. So on the page below, the links to eForm specifications, scroll down, do not work. And it's a page from docs.europa.eu.
Yes. Okay, Laura, I'm taking again this. Indeed, there are links to the schemas that do not work, and I already have seen with the internal services to update this. Okay, indeed, we have 3 broken links there. Okay.
Okay, so then they
So
will
it
be
will be fixed hopefully soon. Fleming or Martin? I don't know what is the.
Yeah, I think Madsen, right? Is your
No, it's
first name?
first name is Fleming.
Fleming,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not
Very confusing because
yes, it's not a problem. Yes, thank you very much for fixing those links. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for pointing it out.
My pleasure.
All right, the next question, is there any documentation other than schematron rules regarding the rules for the conditionally mandatory fields? If not, is it on its way? According to the FAQ, there is none right now, but I'm uncertain of when it was updated last. This is a question by Samuel Repfennig.
I can answer that.
This is a question
Can
by,
you hear me?
yeah, for Carl.
If you can hear me, I will say it orally. But I
Can hear you, Carl.
Okay,
Welcome.
good. Successful lunch. Okay, so Samuel, I will also take the next question you asked because they're related. Because you also asked what rules are actually enforced on e-senders. As far as you understand, the rules for e-senders might not be entirely in line with what is marked as mandatory in the extended annex of the eForms regulation. And according to the FAQ we have, it seems like e-senders are subject to hard reject if they are missing mandatory fields. But in the past, we have thrown warnings instead of errors. Yes, we're instead of errors. What is this transition period for e-senders where the requirements put on them are more lenient? So to catch all the rules questions together, as you might have lost track. So in the eForms regulation, there is an Excel which accompanies the regulation itself, a table with all the forms and all the fields. And in that table, you have mandatory optional fields, and in some cases, conditionally mandatory fields where under certain conditions, a field becomes mandatory. This is all rules for the providers of notices. So as a reuser, you can assume the rules have been applied. The conditionally mandatory rules have been progressively added with each SDK version. So the software development kit is the definition of each version of the notice. So we have several versions already on TED. So the most recent one's 1.9. The previous one, 1.8, introduced lots of new conditional mandatory rules. I'll post a link where you can see the different versions, the changes that we normally make the rules more strict as we go along. I'll also post a link to the TED developer docs because there we have a more user-friendly version of the rules than the schematron files. In particular, in CSV files, you can import into Excel. But the rules also change in each SDK version. So that's something you would not see. It's possible that what wasn't mandatory in an earlier SDK version is mandatory in a later one. So the completeness of the notices should improve. And then the final thing about warnings. So with the new eForms applications we have, at least for reception, for the backend, before it gets to TED, we have a central and automatic validation service. So it automatically validates all the mandatory fields before they come in. They are all errors, there are no warnings. So it either passes or it doesn't. There's just one exception for some warnings that alert us to lawfulness checks, which we check manually. For example, notices from outside the European Economic Area, we check those by hand. But basically mandatory, forbidden, all of that is automatic with those schematrons. And if it doesn't pass that, it doesn't come through. So those rules you have are reliable. So hopefully, Samuel, that catches some of your replies. And I'll post the links now in the chat so you have them. Thanks.
All right. So I think he's happy. You're happy. Good. Happy to hear it. Okay. So in between your questions, there was another question about something else. Let me go back to it. Will the limits on the number of calls to APIs or websites be increased? It's a question by Wano de la Goutte.
Okay, so I suppose that you are talking about the current limit, the limit of the current API. For the new API, the new search API, the FAIR policy are under preparation. There will be limits, but it is not defined yet, but it will be put in the documentation. But until now, we are under the preparation of that.
Do you know if the limits will be increased? That's the question, actually. You cannot answer it.
I cannot answer. I cannot answer.
He says, or she, they say, no, I talk of the limit of the website for direct link to HTML, if I understand things correctly. Limit of the website for direct link HTML.
Yes, I suppose that you are downloading HTML every day, and you are limited to execute the HTTPS operation, right? If it is this, I think that there will be. Okay, I think that it's also a question of FAIR policy, and it's in preparation.
Okay, so we take note and we will come back to you then. All right. Then, skipping the second question of Samuel, which Carl already answered. What is the date on which the new site will be put into production? Another question by Wano de la Goutte.
January 2024, but to be...
Yeah, sorry, Carmelo, as I said during my presentation, the current plan is for January 24, but it will be confirmed, and as I said before, also we will inform in advance when we know the final, hopefully.
So stay tuned to the website, and we will put messages and letting you know exactly what will happen in the coming weeks and months. All right, then the next one. Currently, the HTML returned by eForms viewer notice API does not return the same HTML as the direct HTML download links. Is this normal?
Currently, the HTML returned by the eForm viewer cannot answer. Does it, okay, is it normal? Okay, can you provide?
I'm assuming that we're talking here. So the viewer notice API of the eForms is the viewer that will view notices before they are published, right? And the HTML one or the HTML download will give you notices that have been published. I don't know in what way the HTMLs are different, but
would be good. Would be good to provide an example, just to illustrate this.
Okay, so if you have an example, Wano de la Goutte, you can post it, and we can have a close-up look at that. All right. The next one, can you please share the links to the Swagger documentation for the search and view API? A question by Alexander Rena. Yes. Some links have been already shared. I'm not sure that it's taken care of. Okay, good, thank you. On the current TED, the next question goes, the signed PDF for eForms notices is sometimes not available immediately at publication time in the morning, but becomes available later during the day. Why this delay? Apparently not only for the signed PDF, No, apparently only for the signed PDF, they're only in some cases. And will this be resolved in the new TED? A question by Tom.
Okay, I think that you are talking about an issue we had.
It has
some
been
weeks
solved,
before.
right, Carmelo?
Yes, it has been solved.
Yes, so for a while we were having problems with some eForms notices.
Yes,
but now this should be solved. So
yes.
come back to us, Tom, if this is not the case for you. Okay. Then in the last days, the bulk download on the Gamma portal was delayed, sometimes by days. Is this fixed now? A question by Lutz.
I hope yes. So you have to know that it's an environment for reuser, and okay, sometimes we have issue, but
it's work in progress, we can say.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we hope that it will become better. Okay, the next question. It would be great to get a couple of weeks notice before the new TED goes live. Are you going to email us when you have the exact date for going live? This is a question by Fleming again. Yes, we plan to spam you, if I may say so. So if you agree to it, and obviously you do, all the people whom we know, because they've participated in different events that we've been organizing, we plan to inform about the upcoming changes related to the new TED. Okay, the next question. Is there a direct link to the release calendar in CSV format for a given year? We'd like to automate the download and processing, but the link behind the download button seems complex. A question by Tom again. I'm not sure if you've answered this already or not.
I think that George answered to that. From now, there is no direct link. So, but we have to think about maybe.
Okay. Then we have a question, comment, observation by Stefan. Is there documentation missing? I'm not sure what exactly you mean by documentation when you say this.
I mean the link below the next line. There's what's a new link, and there's an empty, relative empty page.
Ah, you mean the
Yes,
page, the news page?
Yes, yes. So, yes. Okay, the news is not
environment, as we said, so it's not ready to go in production. There will be things that are not up to date, and we really try to concentrate on functionality that would be useful for you as reusers in the first place. So bear with us. Everything will come.
Okay.
Then, where exactly is the list of expert search field to XPath in eForms? Example, what the part of an eForms XML which is rendered as CI, CY. I don't understand this at all, but Lutz is asking. So if that makes sense to you, Carmelo, please.
Yes, I try to. Okay. Can you repeat again, because I don't find the.
Okay, where exactly is the list of the expert search field to XPath in eForms?
Okay. We don't have the list yet, but the expert search is very helpful, and I would suggest that you navigate through that. There is a specific question concerning the CI meaning country.
I'm not sure if CI means country or what it means.
Country of the buyer. CI is the search field.
This is what it means in expert search, but I don't know what Lutz means there, wants to say there. I guess that's it, right?
May I interrupt, Lutz Barnhacker, for the record?
Yes, yes.
The problem is that we are forced to use the search API if we do not know which of the search fields in the expert search are mapped to which part of the XML file. If we are able to download the XML file, it will be useless unless we know how they are mapped to the search engine. So we need a mapping as we have it for the TED, saying, for instance, the country code can be found in the following XPath in the TED notice, and we need the same things for the XML. Otherwise, if we are not able to provide this, we have to use the search API, and you have the load for the searching. It's not our systems anymore. It's up to you.
So my understanding is that you want to have a corresponding table with the search field and the XPath, right? To know where this information is coming from, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. What you have to know is that in the expert search, so I can show you this. Yes, here. No. Share. Okay, you see my screen, huh? Okay, if I go to the...
Make it a bit bigger, Carmelo, maybe.
Yes. Voilà.
Thank you.
So if you go to the expert search, you can make a search. For example, you can search, via notice type. But also, you can also clear, you can search by BT-01 notice, which is the metadata field that you can find in the documentation of eForm. So this means that, so you see, I switch in text. It is the legal basis of the procedure. If I go back, I see BT01 notice, which is available in the documentation of eForm, docs.ted.europa.eu. I think that this could be helpful.
Yep, that's correct. Thank you very much for this link. But the other interesting point is that this information is incomplete. It contains only some examples and a number of links which are going in circles without going to the full document. It's saying there should be a list and there should be a definition and there should be a JSON file, but there's no indication where the JSON file can be found. But if you can provide it afterward, we do not need to do this at the moment here. There are other people who have questions.
Okay.
All right, so I will move on to the next question. Let me see where I was. Okay, why is, for example, and there's a notice not in German. I was looking at the notice in question. It's a notice published by a Flemish authority, so they are publishing it only in Dutch. If you wanted a German translation, you need to use the machine translation. Or I guess you mean the content, the description of the notice, why it's not in German. That's normal. And, you know, unless the contracting authority is publishing it in a certain language, I guess in Belgium, they could choose to publish it in both French, Dutch, and German. But in this case, I think they don't do that. It will not be there.
You showed earlier a page with many machine translations, and this is not machine translated.
Yeah, but you have to ask for the machine translation. Somebody has to ask for it in order for it to be there. It will not be there by default, the machine translation.
Okay.
Okay, Stefan, I think what you did is that you were in the German user interface and you requested the direct link to the HTML download. Okay, so indeed what you pasted there is the HTML download, okay, of a Bentia notice, okay, but requested under the German user interface. So that's why you see in the labels, for example, German labels, so offizielle Bezeichnung, Besaffer, Verfahren, Titel.
Everything that is standardized
and
is
so
already
on, okay. But
translated.
the texts are staying in the language of that the notes were sent, which is Dutch, okay. So yes, like in the current TED, you have to request the machine translation, be it in PDF or HTML, whatever you want, and then you will see it in the, and all the other users, you will see it in this list of the languages that we showed before, okay?
Can I
you see the split between these labels in German and actual texts in Dutch, okay?
can the machine translated version requested via API?
No.
It's exactly like how it works in the current TED, okay? Like in the current TED also this is a user, let's say, initiated procedure or task.
Clear, Stefan? I will move on to the next question. Yeah.
But again, sorry, Laura, just for this, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's what I said at the beginning during my startup thing, okay? Guys, the new TED is, again, does not change significantly the current functionalities, okay? There are some new features, etc., introduced, but it's mainly at the, as I said, the big changes are in the technological stack, okay, or the architecture. However, and that's the goal of all these meetings. And as I said, these workshops should continue even in the future, okay? And we will try to do so. Please give us any ideas or any new things that you would like to be implemented, and indeed we will take them into account, analyze them, and see when and how they can be planned in the future. Certainly they will not be there in January when the new TED or whenever the new TED will be live. But all this, you know, it's good for us to collect this information, and progressively there will be new evolution cycles for the new TED, okay, the TED 2, okay? So feel free to pass this kind of information to the help desk as ideas, or even in the workshops that we have or we will have in the future, okay?
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Is the RDF link available yet? This is a question by Garba. Is this for Yanis, maybe?
Yes. So the endpoint from which you can issue SPARQL queries is available. You can find the documentation for whatever we have available already in the docs TED Europa EU website. Follow the instructions there and you will figure it out. Send us any questions you might have. I guess through the help desk, Laura. I'm not sure what's the best way here because we don't have a
yes, I think the easiest is to always send things to the help desk because they will make sure that they come to us.
Yes.
If you have a link that will point Garba a bit closer to where exactly the documentation is, that would be useful.
All right. So if you go to the Docs TED Europa EU website, in the home page, you will see 5 big boxes. One is about the eForms SDK, one is about the TED API, one is about the eProcure methodology, the other one is about ESPD, and the final 5th one is about the TED semantic web service. So you will see it in front of you in the homepage of Docs TED Europa EU, and then when you click on the read the docs link that is there that says TED semantic web service, you will find everything we have. We keep updating this. And for any questions you have, please contact us through the help desk, and we'll try to answer and improve the documentation that is already there. This is a work in progress. The reason that we didn't officially, quote unquote, present it today is that we just launched it, and you know, we're not ready yet to make you know, official announcements with bells and whistles, but yeah, it's already there, like we said the last time that we met. And you will be able to connect your Excel files, or you can connect Python scripts, or you know, your applications to it, and query it. The big asterisk on this service is that not all the data are yet there. It will take some time until all the data will be there, because there is a process of mapping and conversions of the past schemas and the current schemas, which is ongoing. But gradually you will see this data source being enriched until eventually it will have all the historical data from TED. I don't know if this covers you.
Was very good as far as I hope that the user is also happy. I put also the link there in the chat, so using that you get directly to what Yanis was talking about. And if you have more questions or more comments, you can manifest yourself now, or otherwise we move to the next question. Let me see. So next week, e-senders need to exclusively use eForms. Does this mean that the daily TED bulk download will only contain the new format, the XML files that start with 00 and have a length of 8 leading numbers? This is a question again by Fleming.
I think I can take this again just to clarify what happens next week, or what will happen with TED, what is happening with FTP,
Yes,
etc.
we can
Sorry, again, I'm coming
several times.
Okay, so next week, the only thing that happens is that it's the obligation for everybody to send the form. So it's for the contracting authorities. It's not for you. For you, the current TED stays there. The data will be the same like it is already now. The FTP will contain and work as it works today. Okay, the main difference for you, it will be that hopefully we have more eForms notices compared to the old TED schema notice. Okay, that's it. Then the numbering stays the same as it is, 8 digits for the notice number of the eForms notices, 6 digits for the notice number of the TED schema notices. Nothing changes. Okay. Then whenever the new TED 2 goes live, which has nothing to do with eForms, okay, eForms are there since last November, as I said at the beginning. Okay. When the new TED goes live, then there will be no FTP. Okay, that's the change. And of course, we will have all the new functionalities, etc., and features that or differences that the new TED 2 introduces. So that's the story. Okay, and it's not that next week you will something change for what we are doing as regards what we are doing today or yesterday or 1 week before. Okay. Just this. And as I said again at the beginning, but I can repeat this number, is that especially since September, and I guess you have, if you are a daily retriever of our data, you will see that more and more eForms notices are published in TED. Okay? So expect that the numbers for eForms notices will go up, the numbers of the TED schema notices will go down, and at some point they should disappear. Okay?
So Mark insists here, but nevertheless, after the October 25th, there will be no old schema XMLs in the new bulk downloads, or?
What we have announced and what we have said in, not in TED, but in other sites that mainly concerns the ones that
I see Manuela is here
I
with
see
us.
Manuela, so yeah, maybe because this is a political, more political thing, more delicate, let's leave the boss to reply, okay?
Okay.
Manuela, go ahead.
The boss takes the hot potato. So as George was saying, from next week, nothing changes in terms of what is published in the current TED. You may have seen in some of our reception applications, namely e-notices, and if you are e-senders as well in the communication channels with e-senders, that we will keep the reception channels open, the current reception channels open. which means that if there are notices in the old schema being sent, they will come in, they will be processed, and they will appear on TED. So, just to be completely clear and to reply directly to the question, indeed, from next week, there may be still old schema notices in the bulk downloads, the daily bulk downloads. As there may be none, because everybody will move on into eForms and they will only send us eForms notices. But the situation for us doesn't change next week, so we keep our channels open. If notices come, they will be processed and they will be published. I hope that clarifies.
So we have a follow-up question. Will
Yes.
there be a hard
Thank
cut?
you.
Okay, will there be a hard cut? I don't really understand what the hard cut means. The information that is now available, that has been communicated by our colleagues from the policy DG at the Commission, is that it will be possible to manage the old schema XML notices until the 31st of January. So from our side, we keep our systems open for processing these notices until the 31st of January. And then on the 31st of January at midnight, Central European Time, we close the systems. And therefore, there will be no longer notices, except for the ones that arrive until 31st at midnight, of course. These probably will still be published as old, will certainly be published as in the old format. Anything else cannot be sent, therefore cannot be processed, therefore cannot be published. So 31st of January it is. I hope that's clear.
Thank you, Manuela. Let's move to the next question. Where was I? Okay, so this is about regarding the notice search version 3 API. What are possible values for the field scope? In the past, it was used with numbered values. Is there an overview on all possible values for all fields? A question by Alexander. I think this is for you, Carmelo, maybe?
Yes. I think that, if I remember well, we provided this in the current TED website, but I did not find it in the website. So we can answer later, but normally we have a corresponding search field TD with notice tag. I think I provided it, but I have to find it on the TED website to be answered later.
So let me see. What is the next one? Okay, there are limitations on your web servers. We have to get the HTML as quickly as possible. These limitations are a problem. How can we get the HTML via direct links more quickly without being blocked? This is a question by Wanau de la Gut. I am not sure what limitations on the servers.
Yes, I think that I already answered to that. There are fair policy that needs to be defined for the TED, the new TED, and the policies under preparation. So
okay. Sorry, George, you are saying that I have missed a question, and maybe you can take it because I don't really see it right now.
Yes, it's one question from UTF.
We hear you badly, unfortunately.
There is one question from UTF.
Yes.
Who comes back actually to one of his or her previous questions. Sorry, my question regarding change notices is not sufficiently answered. in the current TED and with the old format, I can filter change notices. However, I cannot filter specifically for change notice in eForms format as they don't have the notice dash type core. So Carmelo, I think it's for you.
Yes, but as I said, I have to think about. Okay, this is how it is in the current TED, and in the future will be the same. But maybe we can find how to make the distinction. But we have to think about that. Yes.
Okay, so we'll come back to this when we answer,
yes,
when to provide
yes.
the written answers. Okay. Go on, Laura.
Okay, so then I will move to the next one. Yeah, this is also related to the notice search version 3 API. How can I identify the notice type previously described by field TD? The new field notice type is only giving me a CN standard, giving me CN standard. Is this an issue with the API, me using it, or is senders providing the data in a wrong format? Question by Alexandra Hena.
Field notice type is only giving me a CN standard. But you can find the notice based on TD. You can use the search field TD using the number or the letter. Yes, you can do that. You can do that in the current TED, and you will be able to do that in the new TED.
So Alexander, is that sufficiently clear for you, or do you want to expand? TD will stay for all notices. Yes. No, Carmelo? This means TD will stay for all TED notices.
Exactly. Yes. TD is only for TED schema notice. There will not be notion of TD for the eForm. So TD.
So I guess this clarifies things for you, Alexander. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next one is about, so we have an automation to download the daily tenders from a URL looking like this. Carmelo, have a look at it. Will this break? Do we need to make a new solution automation? A question by Dimitris.
You have to adapt the URL. So you keep the automation, but you use the new format to get the package.
Is it clear, Dimitris? I hope so. I don't see anything or hear anything from you. So I will move on to the next question. Why haven't you made place of performance not a required field? Doesn't it defeat the purpose a bit not to enforce upon e-senders and procuring organizations to provide structured data informing where the contract is performed? A question by Samuel. I'm not sure if
I can answer if you want. Yeah, yes. I can catch it. It's also Samuel for what comes in. This becomes mandatory in SDK 1.8. So it's conditionally mandatory because it is possible with eForms to say that place of performance can happen anywhere. So anywhere in the world, anywhere in the European Economic Area, anywhere in the country. And in those cases, you don't have to fill in the NUTS code because it's not a specific place of performance. Although before version 1.8 of the SDK, in fact, there was no obligation to fill in the NUTS code. So you might be missing some in the earlier versions, so some countries, but it will become mandatory. And NUTS level 3, just to be aware, it's the lowest level of NUTS. So they all must be at that level, which is hard work for the buyers because sometimes they have to put in a long list of NUTS codes. But be aware that's what you will see in the data.
Okay, thank you, Carl. I guess this explains things for Samuel. Okay, the next one. For example, looking at a few of the Estonian notices, they've used the entire country way of specifying realized location, forgot how it is structured exactly in the XML, and then added Tallinn in the description. This reduces granularity. I'm not sure this is a comment on the previous one.
I guess it's related. So
yes.
yeah, so Estonia were the first to go live. They're on an old SDK version.
Okay,
So
it's also about Samuel,
there's
yeah.
nothing.
Sorry.
There's nothing forcing them to put nuts codes. When they upgrade to later SDK, they will need to put nuts codes, but they can continue saying there's nothing stopping them. There's no way we can stop them saying anywhere in Estonia, and somewhere in the text saying, oh, in fact, it's somewhere else. Yeah, we can't control that. So they might still get around it that way. Yeah.
Then I think that Dimitris is coming back. From what date? Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if it's related to the previous question you had asked, Dimitris. What was it? Okay, for the automation. And then you ask, from what date will we need to make the change to the new URL format to download daily tenders? If we make it today, will it work normally? Carmelo.
If you change it
to the automation that they have in place, a question that was answered previously.
They have to adapt and switch from one automation to the new automation at the time we switch from the old TED to the new TED.
Okay, so you cannot make it today. That would be the answer to the question. You would need to make it on the day when we switch from the current TED to the new TED. Dimitris, I hope that this is clear now. Okay, and then I think this is the last question that I have here. Last year he presented us with, there's a link. So it's a notice viewer which converts eForms into HTML, but it is slow. Will this project evolve and is it maintained? It will allow us not to go through the APIs or the TED site and would allow us to have all the HTML more quickly. Question by one hour.
Yes, but the question is answered because with the new TED, you can download directly the notice published on TED in HTML format. So there is no need to have an API.
Okay. And then I see another question from Samuel. Reading through the documentation, it seems like you can also specify place of performance using zip codes or cities as well. But just to confirm, you would still be required to assign a NUTS3 code, even if you've added this information to realize location. Carl?
Yes, once it becomes conditionally mandatory, yes. So countries that have NUTS codes will need to put the NUTS codes in, apart from those exceptions we mentioned. Yes.
So from SDK 1.8 onwards?
Yes.
Okay.
And some countries might be filling it anyway. So like Switzerland, they were not filling it. We told them, so they will fill it in, even if there's no formal rejection if they don't.
Then we have Dimitris asking where we can find the recording of this meeting. I'm not sure if we plan to make the recording as such available, but we will make all the questions with their answers available on the site where you registered. And the presentations will also, or the presentation rather, of Carmelo will also be there. If you want anything else, you can address us and we can see what we can do for you, Dimitris. Okay. Ben? Why not? Well, yeah, I don't know. We have to decide what we do with the recording. I'm not saying we will not make it available. I just say that I don't know how exactly we will deal with it, but yes, why not, indeed. Then there was another comment by Samuel. So only no nuts if entire world, entire EU, or entire country. Yes, that's correct. Good. Do we have more questions maybe about your testing experience? Because we've been talking a lot about what changes are going to take place, but we haven't heard a lot of feedback on when you actually did go there and try to do what you usually are doing. Did it work? I don't know if anybody has comments about that. I haven't seen so much. Otherwise, yeah, we could take the questions that we got in writing on registration, George, if you want, because really I don't see more questions here, unless I'm missing something. Oh, I see some. Fleming is making some comments here. I've noticed that some eForms contain descriptions that are identified as being in one language, but are actually in another language. For example, identified as Dutch, but is English. I'm not sure who wants to comment on this.
That shouldn't happen, but it might happen. We no longer manually control all the languages in a notice.
Yeah, so we have here a reference to one such notice. Maybe we can have a look at it and see what we can do. Any other comments or questions? Yes, Garba, you haven't really finished. Sorry, there's a comment here, or for users of TED FTP who want to switch to the TED Semantic Web Services. Yes, what about them? I'm not sure that this is a finished statement or question, Garba. So if you want to maybe, when will the Semantic Web Service be ready? Okay. I don't know, Yanis, if you are still there, if you want to make comments. If Yanis is not there, George?
Well, I can just, I think what Yannis said already that it's not.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
there, but I missed the question.
Yanni, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question for me?
So it's for users of TED FTP who want to switch to the TED Semantic Web Services. When will Semantic Web Services be ready? That's the question.
Okay, so it depends on how far back you want to see. Well, it will not be ready for several months from now. So let's ask this question again the next time we meet. I cannot give you a realistic answer at when it will be ready. You can already use it and prepare yourself, but the data is not yet there. Let me try to give you a better answer than in our next meeting. I hope that that covers well, doesn't solve your problem, but at least hope it answers your question.
Yes, so we'll come back to this. Okay, thank you, Yanis. Anything else? Or
I think I can say something on what Fleming said just before about this notice, because I have a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, indeed, it's a Belgian notice, but from what I see, from the very few text fields that they filled in, so for example, the title, it's in French what they put, so this is fine. So they submitted the notes in French. The point is that, as it seems, they haven't filled in many of the text fields, so the majority of the fields are the ones that take values from the code list. So yeah, there in the code list, indeed, you see, if you are in the English user interface, like it's happening in the current tab, you see things in English. Okay.
Yeah, no, they also, no, George, they have put English in the Flemish, in the Dutch version. The French is okay.
Ah.
And
Okay.
when you read
So
the
I was looking at the
Dutch,
French one, yes, okay.
no, French is okay. So half of it's okay, and the other half is it. So they put like C10 documents in English, whereas in French they say voir spécification. So yeah, they mix the languages. I'm telling the Belgians now to see if they can stop it, but we don't check these things anymore because it required humans reading every single notice today, and we won't have that service in future.
Anyhow, as we say many times, the responsibility of the completeness, correctness, etc., of the information provided lies on the contracting authorities. Okay, so we do checks, we try to improve or control things, but at the end, it's the sender that is responsible for what he or she is sending. Okay. Now, I think, Laura, we can go through quickly the what we received during the registration. It's not many things. Okay, and in order also to close, because we are close to 3:20. So I will read the first comment or question that we received. It's from Mr. Dimitris Diamandopoulos from Cube RM, not knowing which country's authorities migrated when to eForms. Okay, I think it's what I said already at the beginning. It's progressively they keep on migrating, and it can be either contracting authorities or whole member states coming to eForms. As I said already, Estonia has fully migrated. Belgium, we talk about Netherlands, about Switzerland, but it's not under our control. Okay, whoever is ready migrates either partially or fully. Then there is one coming from Mirella Ritda, I don't know if I pronounce it well. Not all fields that characterize the various sections and their contents are clear. Error messages could be improved to provide more guidance to the user during the eForms compiling. I guess okay, this is not part of what we discussed today. I guess they mean while they fill in eForms notices in Notices 2 application, or in their, if they are using any sender. Again, if I can speak for the Notices 2, I mean what we control, and again, it has nothing to do with the scope of this or the objective of this meeting, is that yeah, we keep on improving both the user interface, the error messages, etc. Okay, but there are specific workshops for this done already. Then there is, I think, something that maybe Carmelo can answer if we take it as it has been given for T2. Insufficient or lacking documentation, differences between documentation, APIs, and data, lack of backward compatibility of data formats. It's from Stefan Morkov from Hermit. I think Stefan is here, so maybe he can. No, he was there before. So, Carmelo, if you can say something of it.
So, for me, the Swagger UI online documentation of the TED Search API is available and contains several items. The API search mode, pagination or scroll mode, the definition of limits. There is a specific description of the versioning, and also there is the schema of the API where we can find all information, technical information concerning that. So for me, I think it is well documented in comparison to the current one. Concerning the search syntax, I think there is a lack, but I would suggest to navigate through the expert search where there are examples, and you can also play with that to create some query and even complex query. So concerning the lack of backward compatibility of data format, this is not clear to me. So as I said, the search API is not backward compatible in comparison to the current one. But what I can say is that the new search API provide more possibility to execute and retrieve data in the search result. So, voila. This is for the question for.
And if Stefan is talking about the XML notices themselves, yes, the eForms XML notices have nothing to do in terms of structure, syntax, etc., with the TED schema notices. But this is well known and set, whether we like it or not. That's the case with eForms. The next one is the understanding and parsing the content of the new XML format, and the update interval breaking changes. What is the intended way of reusing this information besides from rendering? Why do we have to rely on a rather slow API to obtain a full text representation of an XML file? Coming from Kai Nofke. I don't know if you can say something on this, Carmelo.
So, as I said, the documentation about the new XML format eForm is available on the site docs.ted.europa.eu. What is the intended way of reusing this information beside from rendering? I don't understand. And why do we have to rely on a slow API to obtain the full text representation of an XML file? So I think that it is not correct because we are not using an API to render the notice with the new TED website. So I don't understand.
Okay, I will move to the next. Unfortunately, Kai is not here from what I see in the participants to clarify further or to provide further information. I go to the next one that comes from Mark Engeldinger. Came across some HTML bugs in the TED Viewer API. Found in current production version of TED eForms Viewer API that some eForms XMLs that are currently published were not rendered at all in the TED Viewer API. Okay, I will answer this again. Whatever, if you find any bugs or anything that you think that is a bug, as I said at the beginning, please report it to the help desk. Now, for the second part, that it was not possible to visualize some already published eForms XMLs. Yes, indeed, and that affected the current TED and of course the Viewer API the Viewer APIs that are available. Indeed, there was an issue with some eForms notices for a couple of weeks that could not be rendered because there were some special characters inside, and the software, the application that we were using for rendering, was failing. Okay. However, this problem has been solved, and now all of these are okay. Okay, at least for the issue that was breaking the viewer application at the time.
Yes, hi, it's me, it's Mark.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen it's already solved, this problem. It's no longer there in the newer. If I use the TED Viewer right now, there is no buggy HTML anymore.
Yes, indeed. That's what was last week
Thanks.
with a new version of the application. Okay. But again, if anything is found, you are using or reusing things, even in the Gamma environment, please report it at the help desk. Okay.
Yes, I will do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will go to the next question that is coming, or comment that's coming from John or John Amundsen from Marcel. I'm concerned that there is no way to straightforwardly get the link for XML bulk download for a given day. As I see, it has two: one, manually download the release calendar and store it for using your program; two, use release calendar to build a download link and trigger the download for a given day. Okay, but this is what we said already. Indeed, you have to manually download or get the release calendar. And then, of course, based on this, build automatically or with script or whatever you have on an application, the links to the packages of the daily or the monthly package of the notice. But as I said, we will see if we can do something to provide a way for you to get the release calendar without having to go and click the button and move on. Then I have something. The next one is from David Law from Proactive Standards Limited. Stability of the testing environment and platform. As Carmelo said already, this is a testing environment that was made available almost 10 days ago. It should be stable in general, but still, as I said, TED2 is not ready yet fully. Okay, so there may be downtimes because we apply a new release or a new patch or whatever. But we try to do our best with our contractor that maintains and supports this to have the environment as available as possible during the coming okay. And make any maintenance interventions usually of non-working hours or during the week. Okay, which we hope there will be less and less as we move on. The next comes from Halbera Eiríksdóttir, sorry. Not clear what is mandatory and sometimes not clear what information to submit in which fields. Okay, I guess this again falls into the mission of notices, etc. through our applications or through the sender. I don't know if Carl is around. Okay, I don't know if you can say something on this.
Yes, I didn't expect buyers in this meeting, but we've had a couple of webinars for eNotices 2, if that's the application you're using to submit, to introduce you to eNotices 2 as an application. If you're an eSender, we've had lots of workshops about the rules that are also applied and how to submit notices. We can add some links to the recordings or to those meetings, which maybe can help you get started. So I think that's the best we can do. It's too broad a question to answer in a few minutes.
Thank you, Carla. I'm moving to the next one, which says it's coming from Cornelia Meyer. Missing translation, missing full text. If we're talking about the two, as I said, TED2 in terms of editorial content is not yet there. Okay, there's still work to be done. There are still things to be redacted, to be edited, to be moved, to be deleted. So as I said, the Gamma environment was made available for anyone that wants to reuse the data, to be able to access the APIs, to see the downloads, to see things like to see how the notice look file, to get XMLs. But it's not supposed to have ready all the editorial content or all the supporting information that a proper site, when it goes live, will have. Okay. But we're working on it and we are moving on because at some point we will have to go live. Management. The next question is from Fabrizio Clemente. Management of the valorization of initially optional fields that become mandatory following the valorization of linked optional fields. Okay, I guess here we're talking again from the buyer's side, which I think they are speaking about the conditional mandatory fields, as we call them. I don't know, Carl, again, if you want to add something on this.
No, maybe see the links I posted for Samuel earlier in the chat, so maybe that should answer the same ones.
Okay, Thank you. And then we'll go to the last comment or remark or question that we got during the registration. There's incomplete documentation of the API, long response time from the API, around 10 seconds, and a lot of 500 responses. But it is getting better the last days. Hopefully the API is stable for the go live. I will answer the last part. Yes, when we go live and the new TED becomes the production site, the API should be stable, okay? Now, for the rest about the documentation, I think Carmelo has already said quite a few things and in the answers, but also during the presentation, long response time and a lot of 500 responses. Okay, as I said, this is not a production environment, this is a test environment, so maybe there will be hiccups when it's overloaded or something instantaneously happen, but we are looking on this, and the goal is that when the site goes live, we will have as few as possible performance-related issues. So, Laura, that's it. We have nothing else
Okay.
received during the registration. I don't know if there is any other.
No, I have had a look. Maybe there was a question from Garba again. Can I get the HTTPS URL that will replace the FTP server? That's the question that I got.
And we have okay, but the link it's in the it is from the presentation.
It's in the presentation of Carmelo.
Okay, and navigating the gamma environment, they can see it. But I see one last.
Yes, there's something from Gloria G,
which I think goes to Carl.
Carl, can you read it, or do you want me to?
I replied already in the chat, Gloria.
Okay.
You have a look. So that was this morning when my microphone didn't work. So scroll up. But yes, you can have different organizations doing the award and a different organization doing the contract modification. Normally we expect the same, but there are no rules to control this, so it can differ.
Thank you. Okay, I think that we can start to close, unless we have people manifesting themselves right now for more questions.
So Laura, yes, I think we can call it off for the day. I would like to thank you all for your participation, for your patience, for your questions that you provided, for your hints, for your ideas. I hope that we converge slowly, but we converge. You know that whatever you want to ask, there's always the tech help desk that we can address it, okay? And we'll try to respond as much as possible. Please do use this the user's environment, this test environment, okay, the gamma, as I said, because as I said, things are not that difficult or that crazy, okay. I think things become simpler. What is important, however, is, and for me this is the most difficult part, is for you to understand the eForms, okay? It's not how to use data, the TED2, the new TED, or how to retrieve information from the new TED. I think this is relatively easy, okay? But you have to understand how you will parse the information with eForms notices, okay? Which, as we said, this will be the norm, hopefully from the 31st of January 2024 and on, okay? We will see internally if we need to have another workshop like this before we go live, so before the end of this year, to have a workshop again for the users. The question comes from here. Omar, can you please tell me the presentation was successful? Yes, the presentation document, actually there was one presentation done by Carmelo.
Yes, everything
available in the, yes, together with the answers to written answers to the questions that we received. And as I said, 99% also the video of this workshop, unless someone tells me that they didn't start the recording, which I will do. Okay. So thank you very much for one more time, and please go on and use the Gamma environment. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.